Hey, welcome back to the
Bro,
warm up,
are you?
y'all. We here, instant live reaction after game one of the NBA Finals, OKC and the Indiana Pacers, where yet again, Indiana comes back down like 15 with like 6 minutes left. And again, Tyrese Halliburton with the game.
Yo, did he
Oh,
sell his soul?
talk
Did
about it.
he sell his soul?
He did something.
Did he sell his soul? Did he sell his soul, man?
I
This
mean,
is
like,
crazy. I was like, I was like, if they, first off, every time OKC got a steal or something, made a run, Shea just doing Shea things, Caruso doing Caruso things, Caruso fouling, and he's surprised when they get called for a foul. And then, and then I'm like, they're only down like 10, 11. They're not down 20. It might feel like it's 20, but they're not down 20. I'm like, they hang it in there. And then, yo, slowly but surely, they're like 4 point game with, and it's crunch time with Mr. Over. Yo, something told me when he let it go, that shit was going in. Excuse my French,
me
but
too.
oh my God.
As soon as I seen the stop on Shea,
On Shea.
I was like,
No,
well,
but not just the stop on how bad it was. I was like, he got space and he stepped back, but it was such a bad miss because they couldn't get the old board. I was like, if they can like smack it up a couple times, lose the seconds, and then there was like 5 seconds left, and Hallie had it at half court. I was like, Hallie ain't really been scoring this game, but then he had Case and Wallace on him. He
and
had
he
Case
took
and
the
Wallace
knee.
on him.
Dude, he wasn't passing that. He was not passing that.
I, I was like, bro, and then I'm like, he can elevate over Dort. That's the 6'5" versus 6'2". He just
But Dort had
elevated
him
over
in
and
hell
then
all night
pull up.
though. As I knew as soon as I see Dort on him in transition, I'm like, oh,
The
ooh,
Dorture chamber. The Dorture chamber, bro.
And he
He had him in the
hesitated.
Dorture.
If you saw in the
uh,
last shot, he hesitated because
uh,
Caruso was gonna step up and then he backed up. And he
yeah,
still shot it
Yeah.
anyway.
he hit it. Dog, what are we talking about? Like we were texting in the
Yeah.
chat. We were like, man, it feels like OKC up 25, but they're only at 9. It's halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fourth quarter start, Caruso has like 7 amazing plays in a row, and the game feels like it's out of
You can
hand.
pull up.
And then Obi Toppin, I think what changed the game, they take Miles Turner out, put Obi Toppin in, and then Obi
Dude,
Wop,
you called
Neesmith
that too.
Wop, Nemhard Wop. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Hey, you saw
And
me in
then
the
Miles
chat, bro.
Turner comes. Then
I'm
Miles
like
Turner
single
comes
digit.
back in.
You saw me in the
Then
chat. I'm
Miles
like,
Turner comes
okay.
back in. Step back to it, bro.
As they were
Dude,
coming back, I'm like, they finna do it again.
They
I
finna
was typing the message out. I'm like, bro, they finna win it again. I said, but then Caruso went on this run. They went on a little stretch, went up 15. I said, oh, maybe they're not gonna do it.
right.
But then it got back to down 9
man,
again, and I said, oh, here it comes.
It just, and I'm looking at the
dude.
stat sheet. I'm like, Chet with 6, Shea with an amazing 38. I mean, he could have played better offensively, but I mean, he had 38. You lost in a game where Dort has 5 threes.
Mm-hmm.
Five threes. Five
Like,
threes. But, but but you think, okay, that's variance. But then on the other end, yo, how bad did Obi Toppin start? When they subbed him in, he had 2 turnovers, and then they couldn't pass him the ball. They had a backcourt violation. And I'm like, oh man, this ain't looking good. Then
Hey,
he gets 5 threes, bro.
shout out to Rick Carlisle for
He's
keeping
playing
him in the game.
trusting him.
for
That's
keeping him in the
coach right
game,
there.
yo. He trusted his players. He
Uh-huh.
trusted his players. And then honestly, also shout out to another underrated first half performer, TJ McConnell, leading the Pacers in scoring at some
Uh-huh.
point, bro.
The first
That
half.
guy is so underrated. He came in
To,
just 3 for 3, and then he didn't miss a shot. I mean, he doing weird like you're not even shooting, bro. It's crazy, man.
to be honest
Oh
with
my
you, when I
god.
seen TJ McConnell be the leading scorer at half, I just thought OKC was gonna win by like 30. I thought they were just
Yeah.
gonna come out. That's it. They don't got it tonight.
Uh,
First finals game. That's it, right? And then I don't even know how to comprehend what I just watched. I've never felt so sure about something in my life of an OKC win. And then again, like I'm a Halliburton
Yeah.
fan. Like y'all know this. I'm a Halliburton fan. I was like, nah, not again. No way. No way. Because he ain't scored. He had that weird
but
scoop layup. at like with like 3 minutes left, and I don't think he touched the ball till like the last 10 seconds.
No, because Nembhard, tween.
See.
The Nembhard 3 was crazy, bro.
See, look,
Nembhard
I'm gonna give it a weird comparison. I just went to go see Final Destination yesterday. It looked just like that. Like you could see the whole thing like forming up, the whole comeback. And I'm like,
Oh,
bro, it's only
I
like
see what
10
you're
or 15 point game the whole game. Like the Pacers
Right.
is still in it the whole time. I'm like, unless they down 30, I'm not gonna count them out. Like,
Right.
not gonna do it.
dude. Halliburton I'm looking at the graphic now. Halliburton just tied other Pacer great Reggie Miller for most go-ahead or game time field goals since '97, with 5 seconds left on the clock. 5
He probably
seconds.
did all that in stretch.
And
This whole stretch run right here, he did that.
he probably did, bro.
He probably did.
He got at least 2 this stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Once every
don't
series down
know.
there. And LeBron got the most with 8.
Of course. I just don't know where. Like, they're not going to have 19 turnovers in a
They're not.
whatever it was, first half or through the game again. I don't see that happening. And Siakam played like dog poop, in my opinion. He played really bad. And they won. I don't understand.
And
I
they
don't understand.
won.
I
And they won. And I'm like, and dude, the Pacers, I thought, you know, coming into the game, I'm like, OKC is just a better version of the Pacers. Individually, they just have the better versions of the Pacers. Like they got, Pacers got a 6'5" guard who's playing special, but they got a 6'6" guard who can actually play defense and he can actually score whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Pacers got a big man that can shoot threes and defend at the rim. OKC got Chet Holmgren, like
that can bring up the ball
and
do everything that Turner does.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, bro. He can do everything. I mean, Pacers got Siakam. Other team got Jalen Williams. Like, they got Andrew Nembhard. They got Caruso. They got Aaron Wiggins. They got Lou Dort. I'm like, they're just
and McConnell.
Version,
they
just stay
Alex
around.
Caruso, Cason Wallace, like
honestly,
Ben Mathurin.
Dude, I like his minutes coming out in the second half. When they put him in, he was like a composed.
Mathurin,
like he'd been there before.
Yeah, he wasn't all energetic, out of control like he normally is.
Yeah, I was impressed by Benedict this game. I'm not gonna lie. What did Benedict end up with?
You know what I'm surprised though? Why did Isaiah Hartenstein get more minutes? He always had a double-double.
I don't think Harten's the way they go up and down. And that's why I thought it was weird they didn't like I know Turner's out the game. I still feel like Chet could thrive in a matchup against the Pacers. Like he could guard Siakam, like one-on-one, I think. Like I think when they went small and matched the Pacers small ball, I thought that's when they lost the game. Chet had he only had 6 points, but I feel like they were all dunks at the rim. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
I just don't know because a part of me wants to say it's an experience thing. Neither team's an experience. Like I don't know where we go from here.
You're right.
Neither team is experienced, but they both have one guy that's been part of a championship team.
That's true.
Both got Caruso and they got Pascal.
Siakam.
So and both of those guys are integral. Both those guys are integral. I mean, for the pace, I'm trying to see what are the takeaways and what can be done again. What can be done again?
I think this is gonna come down
the
to
Pacers got out. You think it comes down to coaching?
I think it's gonna come down to coaching. You're gonna have to know your matchups and lineups you putting in. Honestly.
I think Carlisle outcoached Dagnall today as far as substitution goes and stuff. As far as substitutions go, I thought Carlisle was excellent with his timeouts in the first quarter. I mean, and like I said, he kept them within striking distance. I just can't believe, I've never seen – this team is so special. This team – I've never seen a team like this, a team that can play fast, play defense, full court pressure, and 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 just do it in the
Your Wi-Fi
finals,
bad.
man, and
You're
just
skipping.
has the ability to come back like this. It's
Oh, there you go.
seen it all. Say it again, Joe.
I say
I
your
said you were
Wi-Fi was
skipping a little
bad. You
bit.
was skipping.
Oh, damn, my bad. I was just saying this team is special, man. This team is special. We've never seen a team like this ever. And so I think
No, keep going. Finish up.
no, and I think that's why people keep underestimating this team. Like they were what minus 700 coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
750
Yep.
dog.
Yeah, bro.
Oh
But
god.
I say this, bro. They definitely gotta do something different with the lineups for OKC because bro, they had three people in double digit rebounds for Indiana, and none of them were centers. Like
Oh
none.
Yeah.
my god, you're right. But
Oh,
Siakam,
you know
Halliburton
what?
had
Nick
double
Smith,
digit.
and Halliburton.
Wow.
They killed them on the rebounds. That's
Wow.
which is
And that's
crazy.
just effort. And you're on your home court. Like, come on now.
You know, when they did the mic'd up moment with Carlisle, I thought what he said was so spot on. The part they showed us was just 50-50 balls, rebounds, and you cannot throw tight passes against this team. I wish I saw the breakdown of their turnovers, but they only had, remember, they had 19 at the half. They ended the game with 29. So they cut them in half, and I guess that was the difference because they was up by what, 10 at the half, 19 turnovers. But this team is so
taking
good.
care of the ball all year. So this was an admiration, like what happened in the first half. Like, if you want to say what can be taken away or not happen again, I don't think they're turning the ball 29 times again. No. I'll give them maybe 10, but this is not a team that turns them over. But now credit OKC's defense. They came out like their heads was on fire. So
right. I mean, but they couldn't score in the fast break, or they couldn't capitalize off those turnovers. I mean, some of them were dead balls. Like you saw uncharacteristic, like backcourt violations or blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, but a lot of those, like dribbling through crowds, you could get away with it through the Knicks or the Cavs, but they're going to learn. Like you said, they're going to be a little safer with the ball. You might see a little more one-on-one greatness from guys that you don't expect. You might see a little more on-ball stuff from Neesmith, Nembhard, you know, I don't know, man. But it's, and, you know, at least one of these games, Halliburton's going to have a game where his shot falls, where the step back three falls. And you're like, that's just guaranteed Pacers win. But this is crazy. I don't know. Can they do anything to Shea?
Well, I'm kind of thinking about it now, and I'm looking at the stat sheet. Shea can have 38 all he wants again. But if Lou Dort doesn't hit 5 threes, like if the others don't get involved is what I'm saying. Like if they have a bad shooting night, I think the Pacers have enough around as a team to win. Like it's never gonna be Hallie gets 40. It's never gonna be Siakam gets 40. Now when those two do have those games, they're gonna win because their pace is too fast and the others are gonna get involved, right? But I kind of want to say what they did was replicable. Like they could replicate this shit again. I don't know.
I totally agree. And you guys tell me if I'm wrong. If I was making a game plan to stop OKC, defensively from the defensive end, I would rather a guy like Shea go off, kind of like what they did with Giannis. Like let him get his 40 and whatever his peripheral is, 20 rebounds or 20 assists.
Yeah.
But Shea's not really a guy that can get the peripherals consistently. He's just a scorer. So I'm like, okay, let's just one-on-one with him. Their weakness is their half-court offense. So let's just bank on the fact that the variance is going to fall in our favor. So to your point, the variance was in their favor in the first half. It was up by 10, and then it kind of fell apart. I think that game plan is replicable. So I look to them
Drake?
to not
Oh
change.
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think the Pacers are going to change anything on defense. The ball's in OKC's court.
I say OKC definitely needs to. Well, not even OKC, but Shea needs to definitely game plan more for getting Chet more involved in the game.
Right.
Like offensive wise, like defense, you know what he's going to do, but offensively, he's going to need Chet to be right with him. J Dub did all right tonight, 17 solid. He could have did a little more, but
right.
Chet got to get more involved in the game. He just got to, this is a complete team. Like you're not going to beat them, just like they're not going to beat you with one guy going ISO the whole time. You're gonna need to spread the rock around a little bit. They're gonna need some more energy on the rebounds. I expect the other Jalen Williams to get some more time next game.
Did he play?
He did not play.
He was the DMP, yeah.
Oh my god!
I expect him to get a lot more tick next game because he's an energy guy. Probably help on the board a little bit.
He should at least take all of AJ Mitchell.
Yeah.
All of AJ Mitchell's minutes. How did he get up 3 shots in 4 minutes? Are you serious?
It's the finals, dude, and you got. Yeah. Listen, if I was AJ Mitchell, I'd put up the same amount of shots.
Yeah.
Oh. But when AJ Mitchell came in, he put up 3 shots. They were all horrible bricks, and then he got Jade on the other end by Halliburton. I remember that.
So who was on J-Dub to start the game and the finish? Was it Toppin?
To finish? Oh, dude, I don't remember.
Or is it Neesmith? It was Neesmith, right?
Might have been Neesmith.
No, Well, actually, Nembhard was on SGA. So
right.
You might be right.
I mean, bro, Aaron Neesmith will never get any love. But what he did, the shot he took I think he cut it to 6 before Nembhard's step back 3, the little curl. I was like, why would you shoot that? Why would you even shoot that? And it's cash. It's just cash every time.
And after, dude, this guy is such a huge playoff performer. Remember, he had the game winner last year. Then his 3-point percentage against Boston. Then his 3-point percentage explodes in the playoffs this year. I said in the chat, like, yo, he's got a little Jamal Murray to his game. Like, he's a regular season. He's like, is that really you're going to be your starting 2 guy? And then he's big game Nembhard when it comes to the playoffs, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, Halliburton was deferring him bring the ball up.
He might be like he played like one of those, like a Derek Fisher. He played like one of those guys. Like somehow he just making clutch plays, offense, defense. He's one of those dudes. Honestly,
it's just if I'm being totally honest, going into tonight's game, I was thinking 10 to 15 point OKC win. And everything going into the finals, what we were talking about, OKC's the better team. This is that. Now I'm kind of like, I still think OKC's going to win the series. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to overreact over one game. But I will say it's a little interesting, this Indiana team. They've been really good on the road. Like, insanely good on the road. And I'm like,
you're a better road team. They're a better road team.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're a better road team.
They're going to win one at home. They're not going to lose both at home.
No.
So I'm like, this for sure is going 6. And then, I don't know. I think OKC's best when they're free and the defense is rolling and there's no pressure. But I say that Game 7, they beat Denver by 100. So it's just so hard to gauge this OKC team. Because at times I feel like they're growing up. And then the other times I feel like, okay, they look young here. So it's like,
this is what I'll say about the Pacers gameplay. My bad, Dre.
No, you good.
I think that this pretty much guarantees a game 6.
Agreed.
And I think that this is part of OKC's Indy's long-term game plan to wear them down. And I'm like, there's a couple things to look out for. Who the in-game changes, who's going to take the center out first, who's going to break. And OKC already did. they changed their starting lineup. They took Hartenstein out before the first game even started. I'm like, wow, that's a little interesting.
That was telling for sure.
Like Cason Wallace, not even Caruso. Cason Wallace. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised
then
if
I'm
that
like,
swap next game though.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, so we didn't even see the first punch thrown, and you're already breaking your
revealing your card.
Your main attack. And then I'm like, okay, what is OKC's in long-term, series-long game plan? Because Indy's is now in effect. They want to get you to game 6, game 7, and hope you get worn down by then. And I'm like, if they have a game 2, game 3, game 4 where it's just Shai, and not everybody else doing anything, I think that's what Indy's banking on. More of the same of this. Dort doesn't hit 5 threes.
I think you're definitely right too, because Indy got so many like valuable pieces that you can just throw so many players and lineups out there. It's just like, and OKC only really has like a 7-man rotation. Honestly,
which is crazy still.
They usually don't go that deep. They haven't really gone that deep in the playoffs. They're gonna need to. Like, he's gonna need to figure something out.
Well, like an underrated thing too. This isn't the last 2 rounds where you play every other day. Now this Indiana team, which might hurt Indiana in the long run, that plays so fast and tires you out, and it's a really a full 48-minute game. Like, you let your foot off the gas, like tonight is gonna happen, right? So it's like Indiana's gonna get rest too. But OKC, I think OKC, they adjust. I think they adjust. I don't know what the adjustment is. If I'm them, I mean, I'm looking at the minutes chart. Chet only 24 minutes. J-Dub, Dort, Wallace, Caruso. Caruso only 28 minutes. That's interesting. But everybody else 35 plus. So I just don't know where they.
I think their adjustment definitely goes back to what Dre said. I want to see more of Hartenstein. Like, he needs 20 minutes. Like the dude he dropped like a double-double in 17 minutes against his team. And honestly,
against Indiana's what? Because I don't think when Toppin goes to that 5 or Siakam goes to the 5, Hartenstein could play. Because I think that it's just he's a good center, but he's slow-footed.
Obi, if we notice, Obi's been spotting up at the 3 a whole lot.
Obi's like this knockdown shooter. This fucking playoff series. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's been at the 3-point line this whole playoff stretch, and he can still run the floor.
Well, this is why I think that this goes back to Mark Dagnott. I'm like, if you're going small, I haven't seen OKC lose the small ball battle all season, but I think they would lose it if they do it again. Honestly, So this 100%. Is why I'm like, just beat them up with your bigs. You can. I'm like,
is big in there?
So I'm saying, I'm like, just make Hartenstein the only big. Make him the only big, because you're gonna get.
You don't have to. You got a 6'9" big sitting on the bench that you didn't play tonight.
Jalen Williams, you could do that too.
That can match up with Toppin.
And I'll tell you what, I like Jalen Williams over Kenrich Williams and AJ Mitchell. And this, like, you trusted him to guard Jokic. Like, I know he can go up and down with these guys.
Yeah.
So, I would like to see them play a little bigs more, but that's just crazy to me that this is now the second team that I think Indy has can outpace. Like, they did it against the Cavs, who want to play fast. So the Cavs had to completely change their fast attacking, democratic offense. And OKC probably has to, do the same thing. They got to rely on the bigs a little more, I think.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Chet didn't even get 25 minutes, and I thought Chet played good defense.
I thought Chet I thought he was impactful. Like, I felt like I
thought he was very impactful.
He didn't have more than 6 points, but this game kind of gave me the feeling after game 1 of Denver Thunder. Aaron Gordon hits the 3 to go to overtime, and then Nuggets just pull away. what did the Thunder do next game? They won by 50.
Yeah.
So, but this is the NBA final. And I just don't see Indiana being like, yeah, they can have this game. Like that hasn't been their MO all year. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I'm OKC, if I'm OKC, I don't go that deep in the bench. Like the AJ Mitchells, the low key Isaiah Joe minutes. Like tighten that up to the Hartenstein, the Chet, the Case and Wallace Caruso, and your starting five. Like, but then
I can't believe
again, I
he's
want to say that, but the
got
pace the Pacers play with,
Yeah.
that might end up hurting them. They might be too tired. It's hard. It's a chess match. It like I just don't.
It's gonna be a lot of people in foul trouble this series. Trust.
Yeah.
Trust.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't. Let's see. What could we? Who do you guys think was the most impactful person for the Pacers tonight?
For the most impactful play.
You want to take
The
that
most
first?
impactful player.
On the Pacers.
I think that you have to probably split it up. Like
That's the answer I was looking for. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. This team, each
Uh-huh.
team they've played, besides Milwaukee, no offense, Milwaukee fans, they haven't been better than or more talented than them. Like every single time if you were to just like do a fantasy draft of the and like draft like the two teams, the Pacers are going fifth, sixth. You know what I mean? Like they don't have top end talent, but for some reason it works. It just keeps working. It really makes no sense to me. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's great. Not a lot of
I guess
teams have.
if I had to pick one guy, I'd do Nesmith defense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Siakam brings it all together. I've never seen such a hand and glove fit. But, if you look, I guess if you look at Siakam's buckets, he just
You breaking up again.
he gets them the easiest buckets. Like he'll get the air ball. Oh, mic check. Y'all can hear me?
Yep, you do. Mike,
I hear you. It's just you a little spotty.
Oh,
there you
I was
go.
saying Siakam on offense. Siakam on offense. Like, he gets them their consistent, timely bucket, we'll say. Like, he'll get the air ball with 2 seconds on the clock, score it. He'll get the quick seal with the Case and Wallace switch. He'll seal that. I'm like, he'll stop the bleeding a little bit. He's their bailout guy. He's their leader. He's their leading scorer, all that. And then, then Nesmith does Nesmith things on defense. Everyone has a defined role, man. This team is so disciplined.
Yeah.
They never get rattled. They never get rattled either.
Let me see if I gotta pick one person. I gotta keep it with Toppin, bro. Toppin really kept them in the game because that game would have been out of control if he was not hitting like he was.
All right.
Basically, he basically canceled out Lou Dort this game.
Yeah. That's a great way to think about it. Because I think he had 5 threes himself, right?
Yep.
He did.
Wow.
Except he was more efficient. Like, and it came down to like Indy had more rebounds, they had more threes, and they shot like garbage from free throws. I don't know if that happens again. Like,
is there a? Because to me, I don't see a 30-point explosion coming from Halliburton. Like I just don't see the pathway for that. Like the fact that he had 6 assists, I mean, that's telling. Like I think Nembhard also having 6 assists is telling because Halliburton can't do what he usually does. It's gonna have to be others helping out and trying to mimic what Halliburton does, and that's hard. I don't see Dort giving up a 30 piece. I don't see Caruso giving up a 30 piece to Halliburton just in his unorthodox ways. But the fact that they still won and he could do like that, I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's the fact that their full court pressure didn't really affect them that much because Halliburton doesn't want to fight it like a guy like Luka would. He just said,
Right.
"Here you go, Andrew. Just bring it up the court. You run the show a little bit. I'll space it out." I think that Halliburton could have a 30-point explosion for the game that he just doesn't miss. I do think that he's always got one in the chamber for those, and I think they'll probably win because then they're really unguardable.
Right.
But yeah, like that's another reason that makes them so hard to guard. I mean, you can't game plan for any of their best players. Halliburton
Right.
is a pass first point guard who's not score first. They're like, all right, can you make him a scorer? Like he can score. You want to run him off the line. You want to make him shoot. Siakam, how do you stop Siakam? Siakam is a off ball scorer. You know what I'm saying?
Go
So
with the
you can't
flow,
game
Yeah.
exactly. So schematically, that's probably not much you can do against them. And then, like I said, he might look to be a little more aggressive offensively one of these games. Where his shot falls. There was an interesting stat I found like that dropped before the series started that the Pacers' win percentage and Halliburton's numbers when he hits his first bucket versus where he misses it. Yeah. So maybe the game where he hits it, that'll be it. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
I think I'm with you, bro. I can see a 30-point game in Indy though. I can't see it in OKC. Indy, he's usually good for one explosion.
That's it.
He's gonna be talking his trash, all that. He's gonna be good for one at home. I say
whose celebration is he gonna take this series? Because he's always taking celebrations, bro.
You can do Shay's.
Nobody. Unless he does the Caruso headband with no headband. Like he's just taking everybody's celly this year. Like that's crazy.
Man, all I know though, you know, it's kind of funny. Now that I'm thinking about it, the series really reminds me, and I don't think it'll go this way at all. Don't get me wrong. I think Indiana will win another game, but it kind of reminds me in a weird way that AI steals one game against the Lakers. Like they weren't supposed to. Like Lakers were, what were they? They were 12-0 to that point.
Yeah, they were undefeated that whole run.
I mean, AI obviously went off and was substantially way better than Hallie, but it's just weird. Like they're -7 for a reason. Like the betters and the sports book, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. Like for them to just win this game is just doesn't make any sense, like at all. I just don't know. Man. That was great basketball though. Great. Wow.
That was one of the best games in the playoffs, maybe even in the season, man. It's the clutch shots from so many guys, from Toppin to Nembhard to then like Dort, man. It's just crazy.
The Miles Turner I guess 3. Side
that was a big one too.
When I saw that bro,
from the corner. From the corner.
Perfect side.
Yo, are you serious? I'm like, he stole that from. He got tired of seeing that against Cat. He stole that. He stole that because Cat was lighting him up last year over that move.
Yeah. This is gonna be a crazy series for sure.
Dagnall cannot let. Dagnall cannot. He got to let Chet play 30 minutes, man. I'm sorry. This is your established number.
This is the final.
You gotta get him more involved too. You need all three of them.
Gotta get more involved, bro. He didn't even take 10 shots.
Right.
This is Chet Holmgren.
J-Dub,
Dort took most shots.
J-Dub, I need a minimum of like 22.
Well, and I think this is like also like we keep saying like what we say all season. We like it. OKC, they're generational, right? Well, who's the number 2? And the fact that we're in the finals, game 1, and we still. Is it Chet defensively, Jalen offensively? That could be a thing, right?
Yeah,
but
it could be.
I just thought J-Dub, after what he did in the Timberwolves series, because he was unbelievable in games 3 and 4. And that game, or not game 3, I take that back. Game 4, that was one of the best games I've ever watched in my life. I mean, each team was throwing blows back and forth, and yeah, Ant and Randall didn't go off, right? But it was still close, and I think that's a game that we could mimic and probably been like, okay, the depth of the Timberwolves really showed in that game, and now we see in this game the depth of the Pacers. Even though Hallie and Siakam didn't go off, there's still ways to beat this team when your stars don't go off.
Yeah, and you know there might be a Siakam game where he's slightly more efficient. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. He gives them a baseline. I just, yeah, Dagnall. He's usually a solid coach, man. There's a few lineups that he could have done differently. Schematically, I'm not exactly sure what I would change except the starting lineup. Like I said,
Do what got you there. That's what I would.
Yeah, I mean that's how you start every series, no matter if you're the
Right.
finals or the first round. You always
Right.
start. I'm like, all right, let's do our double big thing. Let's see if they can do it.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna say that's because I'm like that's the only way the Pacers are gonna score is if you can't pick on anybody. Like they could do it against the Cavs, they could do it against the Bucks, they could do it against the Knicks. They can mismatch on it. Where's Brunson? Where's Darius Garland? Where's literally anybody in the Bucks not named Giannis? Like so, and then I'm like, okay, maybe they try to attack iHeart. You know, who knows? Maybe that's what you got to do. Maybe you have to make Halliburton shoot 20 shots or something. I don't know, but
I don't think he would anyway.
No,
he would. No. It's just how do you game plan for the others? Right. There's always somebody else that's not in your game plan that's going to contribute some kind of way.
Right.
Even if it's the last 13 seconds that was.
Yeah.
Or last 2 minutes of fucking Naismith in the fucking fourth quarter. How do you game plan for that?
Right.
Yeah.
I do think when the shit hits the fan, I still think OKC's best lineup is Shea, J-Dub, Caruso, Wallace, and Chet. I think when the shit hits the fan, that's the lineup they'll end up put. As much as I love Lu Dort on defense,
I was about to say Wallace over Dort.
I just don't see it's kind of like, does Dort have it going or not? Like when Dort's hitting these threes, he looks like the best 3-and-D player in the league, or one of the best, right? But there were so many times in rounds 1, 2, and 3, like this guy would have 3 points and 0 for 5 from 3, and you know what I mean? And so it's gonna be up to Mark to like kind of feel out that game, who has it going, because I trust Wallace to hit an open 3 than I do Dort, and I think the other team does too. So
let me ask you guys, what do you think happened to OKC in the last 3 minutes in the game? Like what their defense stopped getting, I guess, turnovers, and then just their offensive question marks came up, and he just took advantage, or like.
You want to go, Dre?
I want to say they got way too lax. Like you know how you just because you winning all game, you feeling comfortable. You let them get a little close, and then you went back up 15. And then you're like, okay, we're gonna be cool. And then they make one shot, you like, all right, we can live with it. And they make another shot, then you get a little nervous. Now Shea don't want to pass the ball. That last shot, he could have passed the ball to somebody because he like to take his middies. You know, that's your shot, but maybe that wasn't the right time for that shot.
Right.
You don't want to move the rock, come down, transition. You don't have the matchup on defense that you want.
Right.
You got Cason Wallace good. I would rather have Caruso or Dort or somebody else on Shea right there instead of Caruso backing up. Just keep it a double team. Yeah. I want him to pass the ball. I want him to pass the ball in that moment.
You know what? You just brought up a great point. I think that if it's a close game at the end
that favors Indiana
of the game,
it's weird.
Yeah. If it's a close game at the end of the game, you might have to lean Pacers because they're just smarter.
They want that. They want that every single time. We watched it all 3 rounds. They give them a chance within striking distance.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. They have just weird audacity. Like, who's down 15 with 2 minutes left? Is like, okay, guys,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's just
crazy.
weird
It's crazy.
audacity. Like,
It's
just,
crazy.
and it's happened over and over. Like, you're gonna tell me Mark had a week and a half to prepare for this and was like, even though when you're up, you know, like he said it, it's been drilled into their head, and they just still do it. You know, like disrespectful that is. Like we know what you're about to do, and they still doing it.
Dude, I've never seen an Indiana Pacers slump their shoulders. I've never seen it, bro.
No,
their body language is crazy too, man. And like
they believe until that last whistle is blown to the buzzer.
Whatever Rick Carlisle's doing,
he's
definitely one of the top coaches in the game right now.
He's cementing himself as one of the best coaches of all time with his longevity. And if he wins this, because the 2011 championship he had, I thought was one of the best ever.
Yeah,
I think this will top it.
This will top it.
I think this will only top it because I love Halliburton, and you guys know how I feel. Halliburton is not Dirk.
No.
Dirk was a certified, bona fide top 30, 25 player of all time.
Best European player ever at the time.
Best European player of all time. You know what I mean? Like, Halliburton 2 months ago got voted most overrated. You know what I mean? And kudos to him. He shut all that up. He's been called.
It's always an East guard too. Before I was pretty young.
It is always an East guard.
You know what I mean? Like, I seen Stephen A. Smith talk about he's not a superstar, and I get he doesn't have the stats, and he'll probably never be top 5 in MVP. But what he does and brings to that team, and the belief he brings, is more valuable than any bucket, any rebound, or any assist.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy. We look back at that Sabonis trade, 50-50, good trade. Each team win. Kings go make the playoffs. One team hasn't made it past the first round. Another team has been to 2 Eastern Conference Finals and now the finals.
That's got nothing to do with Sabonis, though. That got nothing to do with it.
I know.
That's all.
It's not Sabonis' fault.
That's other factors. We can't count that.
Already defending Sabonis. He's already defending Sabonis.
We can't. I mean, Sabonis doing what he do. What you gonna do if you give me the role?
Future Bulls Sabonis, by the way.
You basically trade all my niggas for, hey, you trade. Thank you. I'll tell you, thank you, Sacramento. Anybody else y'all want?
That'd be the most Sacramento/Bulls trade of all time. And I wouldn't even be that surprised.
Look, just take Vucevic. We'll get Malik Monk, Sabonis. Just get everybody else that's good.
Oh, Lord.
Malik Monk, man. Oh, save Malik Monk again.
It's crazy to see how far the team's changed from the trade. But I like your point though. That Dallas team is almost the complete opposite. Basically, complete opposite of this Indiana team. Like, those are old veterans, basically, last stretch runs of they good, they greatness. And now you got young dudes who borderline G League. They could have been G League, borderline G League. Nobody knew majority of the players.
They're a team of cast-off, Obi Toppin, cast-off. I remember debating with the Celtics fans 4 years ago when I was watching the Celtics get their ass kicked by the Nets in 2021. I was like, why y'all not playing Nesmith more? And they were like, And now here he is in the finals, and then Halliburton got cast off by his team, which everyone called that out. Turner's name is in the trade.
Every year. That's one of the most underappreciated players in the game.
Turner?
Right now. Yes. He should have.
And look, hold on.
He should have been at DPOY.
To that point, I thought he was going to get traded. I thought this was the year.
I did too.
Because you know why? Because they didn't even have their best backups. They had Isaiah Jackson and James Wiseman, and they're both out. They're both out.
Imagine if they would have traded him, knowing they were going to get hurt and out for the rest of the year.
I thought this was the season Isaiah Jackson was going to be a starter because he's unbelievable too. That guy. If they had him against the Knicks, oh my god. Yeah. But then he got hurt. Then Wiseman got hurt. Then you got to trade for. Then you have to trade for a center. You got to trade for Thomas Bryant, who's not even getting minutes in Miami.
Right.
And then
shout out to him. I mean, they brought belief back into
5-8 minutes. Even his 5 or 8 minutes, he'll contribute something.
It's crazy, man. And then you got to sign Tony Bradley, who I didn't even know was in the NBA still.
Yeah. I didn't either.
Me, that's
French
Hey,
legend, Tony Bradley.
You know what team? You know what team?
yeah.
Former Chicago Bull again. Former
So when
Chicago
they subbed
Bull
him in,
again.
I'm like, when did they pick him up?
Right.
I
I'm seeing
did.
him in
I
round two
didn't.
against Cleveland. I'm like,
I was like, wait, Bradley.
Bradley? It's just
I'm
crazy.
like-
And back to the Rick Carlisle point, he's adjusted too to the modern NBA. Like we see people like Thibodeau, who just got fired, still playing people 48, the whole
Yeah.
game, playing minutes. Now he's totally switched his philosophy. He's playing fast pace. He used to be a half court, pick and roll, swing to the corner and then drive and kick from there. And now he's like this fast tempo offense. And nobody, to start an NBA season, none of us, and I mean none of us, will ever, ever, ever call Pascal Siakam a max player or a top 15 player. But he is worth every penny for some goddamn reason on this team. And I think looking forward when teams are building, it's not, oh, we got to get Giannis. I mean, it'd help if you got, the Giannis's, the Lucas, the Shays, right? But you got to start going for just fit instead of name. And I think that's such an underrated thing to like when we talk about team building. Like we said, nobody on the Pacers would ever be called, like they have maybe one top. I don't know if Hallie's top 10. I don't think he is, but they maybe have one top 15 player, and then all the rest are what 50 and up.
Yeah.
Or no, I think Siakam probably top 30, right? Siakam probably a top 30 player.
Yeah, I give him top 30.
He's definitely
he's definitely top in his position too.
Right. But like it's just crazy what just the fit itself, like it's just crazy. Like he's worth every penny. I mean, you could debate if he should have won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, whatever, right? But dude, like, and he's just changed his game. Like you said earlier, Ashton, like they won't have a bucket for like 3 straight possessions. He'll just be smart, sprint down the court, seal off the smaller defender, get a layup. Cool. Now everybody settle down and play defense. He's playing defense. He's playing defense. And then it's just crazy.
Which is what's wild is we saw him in the first finals against the Warriors, and you saw flashes, like you saw the flashes, and he's basically doing the same thing. He's just a steady player. Like
shout out Toronto, who could have had OG and Siakam still, and then traded Fred away because they didn't want to trade him, and now all those teams were 50.
Imagine they still had all those guys with Scotty.
Man,
all those teams were 50-win teams that they traded with.
Yeah,
so it's just crazy.
And you guys say, they're paying Siakam the max, who's their only 30-year-old player, which is insane. Oh, actually, James Johnson. James Johnson,
right? Who? Hey, he might end up with a ring out there.
He might get a ring. And he's this generation's Chris Anderson from how he came into the league to how he looks now.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then, well, they have a lot of dollars to go around because of how elite Pritchard, their GM or president, has been in signing these guys. Nesmith, 3 years, $33 million. 3 years, $33 million. That's below.
I think he's up for an extension this summer.
No, he's got. I'm on Basketball Reference. He's got 11 million. He's got a flat contract. He's got a flat contract, no options. Flat contract. That is the extension, bro. That is the extension.
He might stay.
Are you serious?
So
that's insane.
To wrap it
that's
all
underneath
up,
the MLE.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I'm saying he's getting paid underneath the MLE. Like, that's crazy.
I was just gonna say last thoughts before we wrap it up. We don't gotta be here too long unless you guys want to. Thursday night. I guess just to wrap it all up, we could just be like, where do we think the series goes from a game-to-game basis? And like, I mean, you don't have to say who you think's gonna win, but like, what's the fallout if the Pacers really do end up winning the final? Like, what does that do for even OKC? Like, because I don't think it's gonna happen. I still think OKC is gonna win the finals, but what do you guys think?
Dude, I haven't even begun to think of something like that. Like, what would the fallout be? Because I was just like, OKC is gonna win and the Pacers are gonna run it back.
That's it, right?
Yeah. But I think now the fallout. I mean, I think it's going 7 now, and then I think, you probably you probably have to lean OKC. But now I'm like, if the Pacers go up 2-1, I have.
You mean
This
2-0?
is so dynamic.
Or you meant 2-1?
I think OKC is going to win next. I think OKC is going to win next.
OKC win game 2. Okay. I think we're on.
So, yeah, if OKC wins game 2, and I don't think they're going to beat this team by 50. I don't think they can. I mean, both teams have had huge wins this playoffs. I think if OKC loses, are we going to see Sam Presti finally break and cash in his million assets? That's probably the main thing that's on the table.
He would have to.
That's the main thing on the table, I think, if OKC loses.
You know, see, my final take be you can't count Indiana out of anything. Like if nobody has learned that by now, Indiana is one of them teams that you got to be on constant watch. Every game, you got to keep the pressure on. I think to go stay with you guys' point, I think the OKC coach definitely does up the minutes for a Chet and a Hartenstein. I think they pull the game out. I say Indy might try to fight it, but I say a double-digit win for OKC next game. I'm gonna go with you though on the 7 games. I'm gonna go with you on the 7 games.
Yeah,
I think Indy's the perfect team to like match up with them to push it to 7.
Which is crazy. Like if you would have told me that in October, I would have looked at you like you're stupid. Like, sorry.
Exactly.
Especially after like the hype OKC had after getting Hartenstein and Caruso, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I picked OKC to make the finals as soon as they got. I forgot who came first, either Caruso or Hartenstein.
Caruso.
But whoever came second, I was like, oh, they're for sure the finals favorite out of the West. And yeah, and now we're here. Indiana just continues to be the weirdest team ever. I mean, nobody even cared that they barely lost after the January or the All-Star break, or that they ran through everybody the series prior, or that Halliburton is now one of the most clutch players in the league, or that they've the best comeback team ever. Nobody continues to. I'm actually curious what the odds are right now. I gotta look. I have to.
I bet they barely changed, to be honest with you.
I kept saying it. I kept saying, imagine if Indy wins the ring. I think that would. I would
love that.
A lot.
That would shake the league for sure.
I can see it.
Dude.
Well, especially in the East too. I mean, you look at going into next year, like there's no Tatum, so I don't think the Celtics are going to be this juggernaut. They could still be top, 7 team, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks, they just fired their coach, and Cat and Brunson are the worst tandem to play defense, right?
Wow.
The Bucks, that's a question mark if Giannis is there, or if Giannis is like, I want to stay in the West or stay in the East or go to the West.
I think that trade request might come if Indy wins. I think he'll ask for it. Just to match that, bro. The team that you lost to the last 2 years in the playoffs, and they just win a ring.
Oh my god!
And your team,
Indy has destroyed. Dude,
I think the trade.
How many franchises has Indy destroyed? They're so weird. They beat Mike Brown's team, he gets fired. They beat Mike Malone's team, he gets fired. They beat Thibodeau, he gets fired. And dude, and honestly, what's crazy? The odds for OKC to win game 2 are even greater for OKC. They were -9 for this game. Now they're -11.
Yeah.
But the odds for the series have been cut in half. Now they're -3.
For the finals?
It's got cut in half.
It's plus 260 for Indiana now.
Yep.
Actually, it got more than cut in half because they were -750, was it? Now they're they got more than cut in half. Bro.
Whoa.
Vegas, man. They be watching.
I be watching Vegas. Like whatever Vegas think.
Yeah, man. OKC still has to be the favorite. I agree with that. But Indiana, I think this is a long series now. And I think, OKC doesn't want this to be a long series, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, the more you give a young team more confidence, saying, "Oh, we could really like that." That's the main takeaway I think it is for the Pacers. I mean, they're not stupid. They have social media. Like No one does zero dark 30 no more. They hear OKC's far better, like, and then they won. They hear all this and they end up winning. You know how the confidence level is gonna be? They like if we're sitting here on Sunday night and they beat OKC, I'd say it's because they won this game. Because the confidence they gain from it. Like this is the NBA finals. Like if you like say it from like an out loud statement, right? All Indiana has to do is win 3 out of the next 6 games. That's all they got to do. They just got to go 500 the next 5 games. That's all they got to do. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
just based off tonight, that's just that
they
was
have the same.
Right.
They have the same amount of home games as OKC at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The same amount of home games.
That really don't matter no more now.
Yeah, I feel like home court doesn't matter as much.
You win
as
at
it used to.
OKC.
Yeah.
Indiana is so tough to win because Indy plays so much better. Well, they don't play better, but they're just like so much more hyped up at home.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm with you.
Oh my gosh, man.
Well, that was a good pod. Shout out to Ashton and Dre popping in, talking game 1 of the NBA Finals, y'all. Please like, subscribe, follow, hit the notifications on. We're here. We're probably gonna cover game 2 after the buzzer on Sunday, but after that I will be in Cancun, so we will not have a podcast for a while unless I bring my stuff, and I don't think I will. So with that being said, thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. And have a good one.
Peace.
Yes, sir.